Hello and welcome to another episode of the React Tailwind CSS. Hey, it's a new year. I know it's been a while, but here I'm back and we are going to do amazing stuff together. So if you are visiting this channel for the first time, what I want you to do is to subscribe to this channel, like and share to others, and follow me as I'm going to do more tutorials on React, Tailwind, and graphic design. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to design this simple portfolio landing homepage. So as you can see, we have the nav bar with the links, with a search bar, then we have just a simple text and an image here, and we are going to do this in easy step. I will take my time and I will explain. I know we have so many tutorials out there, but the reason why I want you to follow me is I'm going to take my time and take you through step by step. If you are visiting this channel for the first time, you can go back. I have so many videos on React Tailwind in this series folder. You can start watching from scratch and you learn how to create this amazing project. So the first thing we are going to do is to design this nav bar. So we are going to work with the nav bar first before we come to the home page. So also this page is responsive, working as a web designer, responsiveness is very important. So this page is fully responsive. So let's test the responsiveness. I'm going to switch to mobile view and we are going to test the responsiveness. Yes, so this is the mobile view. We have a hamburger menu here. Let's click, then we have all our links. We have all the links here. You click, then it's gone. But when we switch to the desktop mode, we have all our links. So this page is fully responsive and we are going to learn how to achieve this. So let's get right into it. So I have created a React app here. I have my component folder. I have my app.js and I've created a component that is navbar.jsx. So if you are seeing this video for the first, I want you to go back. I have a video on how to create a React app and how to set up Tailwind CSS in your React app. So I think if you're able to do that, then this should be very simple for you. I don't want this video to be too long. That is why I made a separate video on how to create a React app and set up Tailwind CSS. So now we have just an empty project. Let's go to yes. So we have nothing displaying currently. So as I've taught you in my previous tutorial, whenever you create a component in your React app, you have to import that component in your app.js, because I've told you that the app.js is what your React app would display for the users to see. So whenever you create a component and you don't import it in your app.js, your viewers, or it will not appear in your web page, web browser, or whatever have used. Whenever you open your web page, it's going to be blank. So to do that, I've taught you that first come to the top, then we are going to import. Type import. So we are going to specify the location. So dot we have, sorry, it should be one dot, yes, component slash nav bar. Yes, so in this way we've imported our nav bar successfully. So now we can continue by just adding our nav bar as a component. So we just type nav bar, then we are done over here. So we can test that by typing some things inside our navbar.js. Let's go. Yes, then there we have it. We have some tests just to test whether our navbar component is working inside our app.js. So now what I want to do is to add some tailwind classes to our app.js file. So now we have let's go back to app.js. Inside the parent div, let's add some classes, tailwind classes. So the first thing we are going to do is to add a width and height, and we want the width to take the full viewport. Then we also specify the height to take the full viewport. So width is full, that is the whole width, full width of our entire web page, and the full height of the entire web page. Then also we can maybe add a background color or something, so we can do that. So quickly, let's do some magic here. So we are going to add a gradient color to our background. So with tailwind, you can type BG for background. Then because we want to work with gradient, you can type gradient. So gradient to the right. So we want the colors to start from the right, the first colors to start from the right to the left, so or to the right. So start from the left to the right. So you choose gradient to R, that is gradient to right. Then we are going to start with our first color. So we write from, then we are going to specify. So I want this, I don't want to use any color, I don't want to use so many colors in this tutorial. So let's go with gray with an amount of, let's say 200, or okay, let's go with 300. Then to, let's choose a simple white, to white. Yes, so now let's go back to our web page and refresh. Yes, so one last thing before this BG color will appear, what we have to do is we have to specify um, the position. So instead of choosing relative, you are going to use absolute for this. So let's say absolute. So we choose absolute. Now let's go back, and now we have the gray with our white gradient color. I think you can see it well. I didn't want to use any so I don't want to mess up so many colors. I want this tutorial to be very simple. So now let's continue. We have our gray with our white gradient color. So now I think that is all we want to do here, just to make our design nice. Now let's come back to our main navbar component, that is the navbar.jss. So now inside our parent div, because we want to create a navbar, let's use the header component. Let's use the header component. And now inside the header component, we are going to add some CSS classes. So the first thing we are going to, we want the navbar to be a flex container. So we say flex. Then also we want, I'm going to add just two things. You know, when we looked at the sample that I showed you, we have three items. We have the logo, we have the links, then we have a search bar. But we are going to ignore the search bar in this tutorial, and we are going to work with the logo and the links. So what we will do is to specify, we're going to say justify between, because we want spaces between the items that we are going to add. Then also we want the background color to be white. Remember, the background color for our web page is a gray and white gradient color. So we want, the reason why I did that is because I want us to see, because we want the navbar to be white. So we want to see very clearly. So we say BG, and we say white. Then let's specify the width. We want the width to cover the entire viewport. So width is full. Then let's add some shadow. That is the shadow elevation. Okay, let's choose MD. Okay, MD is okay. So MD. Now let's go back to our browser and see. No, we are still not done. So we can add, the reason why we are not seeing anything is because we have not added any height to our navbar. We've only specified the width, that is the full width. So we've not added any height. but we are not going to add any height because we want the item that we are going to place to take up the height. We are going to control that height, so we are not going to specify any height um, in this header component. So now we can add some padding and some margin. So let's add padding py, that is a vertical padding, to be 5, and px, the horizontal, let's say 4 or 3. Okay, let's go with 4. Yeah, so we have something like this. So now the first thing that we are going to add is our image. So we want the image to be a link, so you're going to use ahref. Yes, so we are going to use that. Then we are going to use the img tag. Yeah, that is a self-closing tag. Let's specify src, the source, but before that we have to import the image over here. I have a video on how to do this import. So import, let's say, logo from dot slash component slash, let's say, log dot png log.png. Now let's come to our source, and now we are going to use curly brackets, so you can say logo. But now when we save this and go back to our workspace, you see that the logo has covered too much space in the navbar, so we have to control the width of the logo. So we are going to add some tailwind classes to the logo. So within the logo, the img tag, we are going to add class name, and with the class name for the logo, what we want to add is we want to add a width of, let's say, okay, 230 pixels. 230 pixels. So let's go back and see. So now we have this. So now I believe you can see the elevation very well. So that is that for the uh, image, but we can add other things as well, but I want to keep this tutorial very simple. We can add some other hover effect and other stuff, but I don't want us to go into details in that. So now this is looking good for us. So the next thing that I want us to do is to add our links. So now we come and we add our links. So with the links, we are going to use ul, that is unordered list, and within the unordered list too, we can add some list items. But first, let's add some CSS, tailwind CSS classes. So what we want to do, we want to do everything straightforward. So what we want to do is, when tailwind CSS is mobile first. So when you are designing for tailwind, you have to first consider everything is mobile first. You have to first design for mobile before you transform it to take up uh, desktop web page or something. So what we are going to do here is that um, when the viewport is, or when we have we open this web page on a smaller device, like on a mobile device, just like this, we don't want to see the links. We don't want the links to appear. We don't want the links to appear. We want the links to appear only when we are using a desktop or when the screen is large. So with the class name, the first thing, because tailwind CSS is mobile first, so yes, we can say that we can set the display to hidden for small devices. So now when you open on small devices, you are not going to see any links. Then we can now continue adding our links to yes, our list item. So now you can add, let's say, home, and let's duplicate. You can duplicate this line by holding shift plus alt plus the down arrow key. So let's duplicate it like 4, and let's say home. We can have what we can have projects, because this is a portfolio. Projects, we can have about me, and the last one will be contact me. Yes. So now let's go back to our browser and let's see how things are going. Now we've set, we don't see anything here because we've not specified what should happen when the screen is large. We've only set the display to hidden. So what we'll do is that we are going to use the breakpoints. So XL for large screen, extra large screen, or you can use LG, or that is large or extra large, XL. Then we can set it to a flex container. So let's go back and see. So now we have the items here, but you know they are all packed together. But what we want to do is to add a gap. So let's add a gap of let's see 10, gap of 10. Let's go back. Yes, so we have this gap between the projects, sorry, the links. Then I think that is all. Then we can center the item, so you can see items center, so that the items will be at the center. So we have our logo here, which can be an image or it can be a text depending on the project that you are working on. Then we have our links. So currently, whenever you hover on any of the links, you know the cursor changes, but we don't want it to be this way. So we can start styling some of the we can start styling the list items. So I'm going to select all of them at once so that I don't have to do it for all of them. So to do that, you are going to click on the first list item. You're going to hold the alt key on your keyboard, and you use your mouse to select the other spaces so that you can work in all of them at once. So you can see class name, and it affects all the 4 list items. So we want the padding. Let's add some padding around them. Padding to 2. Then we want the cursor to be a pointer. So let's see. So now you see, yes. So we can choose to add some hover effects on some of these links to make it nice, but for now I want to keep the tutorial very simple. So we are not going to do anything like that. So now okay, so now we can see that we have our links and we also have our logo here, but let's switch to the mobile view. We are going to realize that we don't have the links here. So what we have to do is we have to create a hamburger menu item here, that whenever we click on that hamburger menu, is going to display the links. So to do that, we are going to use a library that is called box icon. We are going to use a library called box icon. So let's head over to that. Okay, so I've already installed the box icon library. I'm going to leave a link, so if you want to use this library, you can use the npm package to install it. So we are going to create another div. We have another div. Then I'm going to use the box icon library. So I'm going to say I, and let's add class name. You can say bx. Then we say bx menu. So now let's go to our web page, and you see that we have this menu over here. So you see we have the menu over here, but we don't want this menu to appear on the larger screen. So we are going to say XL, that is for extra large screen. We set it to hidden so that it does not appear on large screen. So now it only appears on smaller screens, that is mobile devices. So now the next thing that we can do is to increase it a bit. On a smaller screen, it's very tiny. So let's increase it a bit, and to do that we can use the text property. So we say tests, and let's say 3XL. Yes, so now I think this is looking good. 3XL. So now we have our logo, then we have our hamburger menu. But right now, whenever you click on it, nothing is going to happen because we've not yet added the logic and the links to display. So what we are going to do is to add some logic to it, so that whenever we click on this hamburger menu on a smaller screen, is going to display the links in this form as I demonstrated in the beginning of the video. So to do that, we are going to use the React hook, that is um, the use state hook. We are going to use the use state hook for this. So to do that, we come to the top here, and we are going to use the use state hook. So we say const, and we are saying to use let's say is menu open, then comma, we say set is menu open. So I'm using camel casing over here. If you don't know about camel casing, you can search online for camel casing in React. So we say use state, and because at first the menu is closed, we are going to set it to false. So false. So currently we've added the use state hook and we've set the value to false. Now let's come back to our hamburger menu icon here. Then we can add an on click property. So we say on click, and on click we are going to use an arrow function. Then we are going to say set is menu open. We are going to set the value to not menu open. So what it means is that whenever I click on this, it should be false. Now the value is false, so whenever I click on it, it should be true. And whenever I clicked again and the property or the value is true, it should switch it back to false. So now we've added the logic to it. Now what we are going to do next is to add what should display when the menu is open, and what should display when the menu is open. So to do that, you are going to create another div where you are going to add the links that should be open, and we are going to style it in how it should look when the menu is open. So to do that, we are going to add another div. So we add the div. Then in this div, we are going to add some class name. So let's add some class name. So this is where everything happens. So class name. Then because we want to use some styling plus some logic and some conditions, we are going to use the backtick. So this time round, we are not going to use this double quotation mark. We are going to use curly brackets plus the backtick. Yes, so inside this we are going to set it the display to absolute, because we want to control how the item should look. So we're going to set it to absolute. Then also the next thing we are going to do is to say that whenever we click on this icon, or it should not appear when we are working on, or when you open this web page on a large screen. So Excel, we want to do this only for small screen. So we say XL, then we say hidden. So you want it to appear only on small devices. And I've told you that tailwind CSS is mobile first. So whatever style that you are doing, it's for the mobile screen size. So afterwards, you can decide to extend it to a large screen. So now let's look at the position. Now the absolute means that now we have